this time, please welcome the Barnesville High School Marching Band. At this time, would you all please stand, gentlemen, and remove your hats as we play the national anthem. And now the Barnesville High School alma mater.
And here come the Rocks. Welcome everybody. Tonight we are very fortunate to bring you this OHSAA playoff game between Barnesville and KIPP. KIPP coming in here out of Columbus. They come in here 7-4. But you take a look at some of their losses, and the teams they played were no slouches. So it'll be real interesting tonight, Brian.
Yeah, definitely. Barnesville coming in with now a 9-1 record, but I mean, a 30-point win, I don't think you're ever going to find any coach complaining about that, especially in the playoffs, but didn't look as clean as I think they wanted to last week. Wasn't as sharp as I'm sure Coach Allen was hoping for, but so we'll see if another week of practice has allowed them, because this is going to be a tough matchup.
You know, here's a key thing. You know, anytime you get into the playoffs, you start to think about injuries. As KIPP's getting ready to take the field here. Here come the Jaguars.
And, I mean, we got game results from them, but not a lot. A lot of unknowns for us about this KIPP team, but just eye test, a lot of big kids. Their line, a lot of size there. Looking over at their starting lineup on the offensive front, the kind of runt of the litter there is 5'11", 260, so 260 being the lightest lineman they got. So definitely going to have the size advantage in the trenches, so Barnesville's going to have to rely on some quickness and maybe send some extra blitzers or something.
This one's really interesting for me because I really have no idea how this is going to play out, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, I think they like to throw the ball and they have a lot of athletes.
Yeah.
Barnesville's the opposite type of team. They're going to try to run it down your throat. So we're going to really see, you know, if their size is able to play that brand of smash mouth football. I've seen guys come in here before and they can't play it, and I've seen guys come in smaller and they can play it better than we do. So it's really hard to tell. The interesting is going to be who comes out and scores first, I think, and then who also carries momentum in and coming out of half.
That's going to be big. Last week KIPP knocked off the number 5 seed Sims Valley. Sims Valley was undefeated going into that game, and KIPP went there and got the upset. So I don't think we're going to see a pushover game. I'm expecting a pretty tight, exciting game.
This will be, like you said, a pretty tight, exciting game. I do believe. You know, they beat Sims Valley, who was 9-1. But you know what? Here's the thing, Brian. You know, watching Sims Valley, doing some research on them, I don't think they were all that with their record. But I think some of the teams KIPP has lost to this year might be better than Sims Valley. Sims Valley, you know, a smaller school, right? And where they come from and the teams they play is not going to be as athletic as this KIPP team.
Yeah.
And so I think this team's tested. There's going to be no pushover, and I think we're in for a really good one tonight here at Shamrocks Stadium. As we're about to get set underway here.
We don't have any coaching staff for them, but I do know for a fact that Jacob Houston, a Barnesville graduate and former player for the Rocks, is a coaching staff member, so we want to give a shout-out and welcome back to him.
And so we're underway, and the kick is going to be bounced around to 27. Spencer Bliss is going to field it, make one man miss, brought down by a host of Jaguars. It's going to be brought down to 35, and that's where the Rocks will start their first drive here tonight. You know, anytime you get to the playoffs, it's an honor. But, you know, last week with the addition of 16 teams getting into the playoffs, you know, it almost didn't feel natural, at least to me, you know, because I went through playing, you know, top 8 get in. But here's the thing, KIPP was a lower seed. They would have got in the traditional format, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. As they're going to come into a 40 over front there, and they're going to kick out the end, and hand it off to Owen Y. He's going to plow ahead for about 5 there. And so, nice start here and getting ahead of schedule.
Yeah, expect to see Barnesville look to establish the run, but if I know they like to run it between the tackles, but if that ends up, I mean, the Jaguars have a lot of space eaters there, so if that isn't working, I look to them to try to establish the run on the boundaries and look to just kind of spread out this defense, take away the size advantage a little bit.
Boy, KIPP looks big up front. As they're going to be in a 40 with a backer and overhang walk down, as they're going to run ISO. Once again, it's going to be Owen Wise. Is going to get grabbed and wrapped up. That was number 58. That's Ryan Stewart for the Jaguars. And boy, he's a nice-looking kid. They got several nice-sized kids up front. And, you know, you see them rotating here. Number 45, that is... Well, trying to decipher the roster here. Number 45, Zach Walton coming into the game. So, looks like maybe KIPP will be rotating our defensive lineman. And, you know, something's got to give, Brian. Whether it's... when we try to do this running attack, they're either going to penetrate the line of scrimmage and or we're going to play on their side of the ball as they're going to run a little fullback dive. Goes nowhere as KIPP's all over it. Now to bring up 2nd and about 9 here for the Rocks.
Yeah, and that time it looked like number 45, Zach Walton, got off his block on the edge and just was, Jones was unable to go anywhere.
But it'll be interesting to see, what the first thing to give here is tonight, whether their defense line's able to come in and kind of do what Barnesville does best and do it better than them. Or if Barnesville's line's able to come and do what they did all season and they'll be able to establish the run. So it'll be interesting to watch as the game goes on. As the Rocks will be in a gun. Hannes in the backfield. That snap actually. He's going to hand it off to Spencer Bliss. Tries to get outside. They're going to call a hold on Gavin Carpenter as Bliss makes a couple men miss. But Carpenter couldn't get his head to the play side even though Spencer Bliss has a heck of an effort to pick up 8 or 9. It's going to get called back there. Boy, here early on it looks like the size of KIPP is going to hinder Barnesville's ability to do what they want.
Barnesville definitely doesn't want to fall behind schedule on these early downs, so that'll put them 2nd and way back. Might get to see him test this secondary for KIPP.
The thing about the playoffs, when you get here, no game is going to be easy, if you have it the way you want. And you're going to have to face adversity, and you're going to have to overcome drives. You're going to have to be down at some point and come back, and you're going to have to make some big plays down the stretch. And the better team's going to win, and we'll see if Barnesville's able to come out and make those plays as they're going to come back and run a waggle screen back to Wise, let the man unblocked as Shepard was supposed to get out to the corner. The corner just simply ran around him. And
went full on attack and was able to make it around the blockers, and that could have went for a big play
it
there
did.
for Barnesville. But that's
Barnesville
a great
had one
defensive play.
offensive lineman out there, like you said. It was Logan Shepard, and he wasn't able to get the block. The kid just ran right around him. So that was really unfortunate because if not, that thing goes maybe closer to 1st down. As Barnesville's having some trouble lining up, we're going to take a look at the play clock. 6:05 left. They're going to put Bliss in motion to the top of your screen. Hannes drops back, looks, throws, fire, wobbled over the middle. It's going to be picked off. That's number 4. That's Cam Frazier. And he's going to take it up around the left side, up to the sideline. And finally driven out at about the 42 as not a great start for Barnesville, and a big interception for KIPP.
Had a receiver that passed just a little wobbly coming out and stayed in the air an awful long time and just a little over the head of the receiver, and a great play there from the safety. KIPP's in business.
Yeah. The thing, you get into the playoffs and you start playing these better teams. The mistakes you get away with in the regular season, you're not going to get away with in the postseason. You have to come in here and whichever team makes the less mistakes is probably going to win. You got to come in here and try to play as close and mistake-free football as you can. Limit the penalties, limit the turnovers, and we'll see if KIPP is able to capitalize off this here. As they'll drop back, looks, throws all day. Shepard finally with some pressure. He's going to get out around the right side, throws away, intended for Coach Dylan Rogers on the sideline, incomplete. That was Tymier Wynn as the quarterback there, and it looks like they're going to call intentional grounding, which I don't know about that, Brian. I thought he was outside the pocket.
Yeah, I don't think that was intentional grounding, but at the same time, I feel like he missed a couple holds there.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
I know the Barnesville crowd was waiting for a hold to be called, but I think once he got in pursuit, I think they missed a hold or two, but I thought he was out of the tackle box, and it looked like that pass came pretty close to reaching the line of scrimmage too. So
I don't understand that call, and I also don't understand why he didn't just take off and run.
Yeah, he had all day back there, just couldn't find a receiver open. But talking about the grind in the playoffs week to week, last week having to get prepared for a team like Colgrove that I don't think they had more than one wide receiver out wide at any point, and so far we've seen KIPP through 2 plays go 4 wide each time.
Yep, they're going to be in the spread 2x2 pistol here as Wynn's going to hand off to his running back. Boy, he's quick, number 24. That is Antonio Campbell, and he's going to get brought down after a huge gain. He's close to the 1st down marker. It'll be 3rd and about 3 here for the Jaguars.
A quick running back for them. That was good play design, and he just found a hole, and I don't think Barnesville really know what hit him until he was 10 yards down the field.
So it'll be 3rd and about 3 or 4 here as they'll hand it off. Once again, the Rocks are going to win the pile, but I think he might have got the 1st down. Boy, it's close. They're going to have to measure, Brian. That was Campbell once again on the carry. It's funny because he's 5'7", looks very small out there, but you look at the guys playing around him, well, that's why, because, well, I mean, I'm 5'7", so, you know, and I was our biggest lineman when we played.
Oh, and that'll be to their advantage because it's tough to see over that line to find someone that's that much smaller.
So it'll be 1st and 10 as Wynn runs a little RPO, and he's going to get around the edge, slide down, but not before he picks up 7 or 8. As it looks like this is the first read off of this, Brian. It looks like they are way more athletic than we are. It'll be interesting to see how Barnesville schematically is going to be able to expose to what they do here, because they're going to have to make an adjustment, it looks like, because KIPP is driving down the field with a little bit of ease here. It'll be 2nd and about 3. New running back in the game. It'll be number 1, Christian Brown. As Wynn's going to look back, throw, fire, almost picked by Tayson Starks right through his hands. Almost a second attempt there by Owen Wise. Incomplete. That would have been huge.
That's a play Barnesville needed there. They gotta come up with a play sometime, because, as you said, KIPP just driving down the field with relative ease right now. But that would have been a big change in momentum there. But as it stands, we'll have another 3rd down for KIPP.
And those are the kind of plays, Brian, if you want to win these games, you got to make them. Sorry. You know it's a tough play, but you got to make them. As they're going to turn on and hand it off, that's to Brown. He's going to plow forward. He's going to be close to the marker. Rocks win a plow, but it doesn't matter with forward progress. I think he's right at it, Brian. I don't know.
Going to depend on the spot. I think it looks like about a half yard or maybe a short yard.
So we'll see what the Jaguars decide to do here, as they haven't huddled yet, but they're taking their time. You know, they're getting a signal in. They're looking how the Rocks, what personnel they have in, and I think that's how they're calling their plays here. This Wynn will be in the pistol. Will take the snap. Read option again, and he's going to get brought down from behind. What a big play there by number 53. I do believe that's Luke. That wrong? I think it's Ethan Spangenberg. Yeah, Ethan Spangenberg. It's funny. I'm one of the biggest advocates for read option. I want to read the defensive end on anything, because that's one less guy you got to block. But sometimes you can out-cute yourself when you need a yard.
And it was wide open. Like, it just took a little bit too long. And give credit to Spangenberg for tracking him down from the backside, because if he doesn't make that tackle, it's an easy 1st down for KIPP.
It might have went for a lot longer. There was a lot of room over there, Brian. I bet they come back to that very soon. So it'll be 1st and 10 here after the huge play by Spangenberg. The Rocks will be in the strong eye. Fullback set to the right, and they're going to run a counter trap back. Wide open lane. That's Wise. He's going to pick up about 8 or 9. But, you know, you talk about playoff football, Brian. You got to make those plays. You talk about the interception, you got to make a big play on 4th down when it looks like, you know, they got you, and that's why you play. It's so fun. It really is.
Through one possession for each team, we're at a turnover apiece, so it's basically like the new ball game starting now.
Yeah.
Little less time on the clock, but nothing hurt for either team, so we'll see if the Shamrocks can establish some good drive here.
I'm telling you, there's nothing better than good football, man. There's nothing better. So it'll be 2nd and about 3 here as they'll turn around and hand it off to Wise. Tough sledding in the middle. He's going to be met by number 45. That is, still memorizing the names, that's Zach Walton. But it's not before he picks up a 1st down.
And Barnesville able to find some success running through the tackles right now. Finding holes. Wise is running hard, but this KIPP team is closing fast on him. And when it looks like he's going to get a big gain, I mean, they're pretty athletic to limit it to about as little as it can be.
You know, that's the thing. You're going to pick up 4 or 5. You play a team like this, and they're going to be able to rally to the football. But, you know, 3 and 4 will turn into hopefully 8 or 9 as the game goes on. You bust a big one. His hand is going to take a direct snap to himself, go forward, pick up about 1. That'll bring up 2nd and about 9 here. Looks like the Rocks are going to get some different personnel in as Wise comes out. Jones will go in as the tailback. Probably going to be a pass, you know, going off that. Jones probably in there for blocking responsibilities.
Either be a pitch to Bliss, or I could see it being a screen to. Don't want to set yourself in a 3rd and long, so I doubt we see a fullback run here.
Look at this. They got They're going to motion down here, and Rocks are going to have to come back to that. As Hannes gets tackled in the backfield, there was nobody on Chase Connor in the scene. Those are the kind of things, you know. Although it's a bad play, you get a good look out of it, and that's something I bet Barnesville and Blake Allen's staff saw, and they're going to have to come back to that. You get a guy that open, and the safety's playing 12 yards off, just throw a now screen to him. Yeah. Or just run him up the seam like a little pop. And so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust. So it'll be 3rd and 10 here.
Yeah, a little surprised that we've seen back-to-back quarterback runs. Normally not a big part of Barnesville's offensive game plan, but not doing anything in this possession.
So Hannes is going to roll out to his left. He's going to look for the comeback. That's the Bliss caught in bounds. They're going to give him the first down.
Good job by Bliss to know where the chains were, and I think he got 11 there on 3rd and 10.
Yep. Great route by Bliss. Great throw by Hannes. Those timing routes are so hard to defend.
Bliss is reception getting up for a Shamrock first down.
You know, as a DB, you can do everything right, but if a guy runs a stop route or a comeback route like that, man, you got to almost guess. And at that point, you're worried about the double move.
And man coverage, that route's about impossible to guard, and Bliss just ran it extremely well and got his feet in.
Light box in here for KIPP, but it doesn't really matter as their defensive linemen are able to swallow up Hannes there. I see what Barnesville's trying to do. They went 3-by-1, 3 receivers to the top of the screen. You got a 5-man box, and then you got your quarterback as your 6-man. So you got 5v5, and you got no one to account for your quarterback. But guess what? The defensive lineman has handled your offensive line.
Yep. That only works if every O lineman takes on their one D lineman, and just not the case on these last 3 quarterback runs.
They're going to have to figure out something for that. It looked like there might have been a stun on there as well. As, you know, they got their nose tackle. That's number 58 there. And so direct snap to Bliss here as they get in a condensed shotgun. He's going to get her out to the edge. Knocked into the Gatorade table. Part of that, I think, on his own doing. And he's down, not getting up. That's not good for Coach Allen. Hopefully he gets up. You know, you hate to see anyone ever go down, especially in what could be, you know, last game, knowing the circumstances in a playoff. And Bliss still hasn't gotten up yet, but the play must go on because he's out. You know, he's out of play right now, so they don't have to stop the clock. That's terrible to see.
And I tell you, this is a big moment in this game. Spencer Bliss does so many things for this Barnesville team.
Bliss gets back up finally, but I don't think there was any wrongdoing there, though.
No, it was a big pile up there, and that table's just. It's only about 4 yards away from the sideline, so momentum's just going to take you out. I don't think there was anything malicious there.
So it'll be 3rd and about 4 here as the Rocks will get in the I formation, turn around, hand it to Wise on the ISO. Ball's out! Salvador Alvarez jumps back on it, but that's going to negate any little bit of a gain there. That's going to bring up 4th down here at midfield in a crucial decision here for Coach Allen.
That's why he gets paid the big bucks. I mean, you're not in definite go for it territory here.
But the way KIPP's moving the ball, if you want to go score first here. It looks like they're going to push all the marbles to the center of the table here on the 2nd drive. I don't hate the call. I really don't. I actually think it might be the right call, but it'll be interesting to see if they even snap it here, Brian. They might just go hard count and then call a timeout and then maybe punt it. Yep, I think that's what they're going to do. There's no play on here. No budge from the Jaguars. As it
extremely looks like disciplined defensive line there. I think their coach was kind of in their ear telling them that probably don't have a play here. So,
no. So now decision time for Coach Allen. Gave himself an extra 45 seconds to make a decision. Probably the right thing there, because anytime you get a free 5, you take it.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can't. If you're going for it, you have to have a play this time. I don't see him doing hard counting. You have to have something that's going to happen on this down.
Trots the offense back out on the field. I do believe they're going to go for it. Not going to lie, Brian, I'm kind of surprised they even put the offense back out here. Usually when you're in this type of situation, you want to keep your offense in a huddle as long as you can, just as much as they can keep their coaches guessing, you know what I mean? So they're out there waiting on the Jaguars. The Rocks are going to go for it. They're going to have 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 2 receivers to the bottom. Bliss will be the back in the backfield. You wonder if it's going to him. Hannes will be in the pistol, and I think a false start's going to get called on C.J. Hannes here. He was a quarterback. They went to a quick kick, and I do believe it was Hannes that jumped first, and so that's going to bring the Rocks back 5 yards, and now they'll turn the actual punting unit on.
The benefits you have when Spencer Bliss is your punter, but also lines up in the backfield a lot of the time. You can get away with plays like that, and it would have worked. I mean, KIPP didn't have anyone back, so would have been able to down the punt. But now we'll see what KIPP's return game looks like. Looks like number 4, Cam Frazier, back to return.
Wondering what the refs are holding up the Rocks about here.
Number 21, Spencer Bliss, and punt formation for the Shamrocks.
As the Rocks are going to get set here and look to punt. Bliss will be back to punt. Snap is good. Punts away
that
quickly.
One off in a hurry.
And the bad thing about that is the Rocks were down the field to recover, really. As Frazier gets out and around the edge after a blindside block, and he's going to go all the way, Brian. He got out of a couple tackles.
There's a flag. We'll see what happens, but 2 flags, it looks like.
I don't care if you're livid if you're Coach Allen, because he broke 3 tackles right there and was able to get out of that and go down the field. I don't care that there was a penalty. Your kids need to be down there, and you got to make the tackle and respond like that. And I bet they're going to get an earful after that, and they're very fortunate that they get away with this one here. Very fortunate. It almost looked like after that first flag was thrown, it was like the Rocks knew it, and they just kind of quit.
Can't quit on the play. You never know what the flag's going to be or anything like that. So this will move KIPP way back, but, I mean, yeah, Shamrock's extremely fortunate right now.
Extremely fortunate there. But, nevertheless, a good call in favor of the good guys, I guess.
I think
you take them when you get them.
I did see a block in the back. I'm not sure what the call was over on the KIPP sideline. Didn't see that one. But I did see what looked to be a block in the back on the initial return.
2 blocks in the backs is what they're calling a call. One's declined, one's accepted. So KIPP, after going for 6, is going to start at their own 10-yard line. How about that, Brian?
That's one way to change the field, I guess.
Mistakes will win you or lose you a ball game. That's a big one there if you're KIPP.
You need to see this Barnesville team start making some plays. They've been bailed out a few times in this early going.
That's a big one right there. So it'll be 1st and 10 here. As new quarterback actually, and that's Cam Frazier at quarterback. He's going to hand it off to number 1. That's Christian Brown, and he's going to pick up a first down off one inside zone play there. Wondering what the move is here. They before it was number 3 Tamir Wynn, and he's not in a quarterback anymore.
Well, 4 was their punt returner, Cameron Frazier. So I don't know if it's more of a wildcat or he is a quarter. It's tough to tell.
It's tough to tell. Bat snap over his head. He's going to get brought down by Agent Spangenberg. Loss of about 15. I don't think he knew the ball was snapped. It just kind of went over his head.
Well, it hit him in the hands, and then he just didn't seem like he was in a hurry to get it, and then he realized it was a live ball, and lucky to pick that ball up.
Well, you look at the reaction of the tailbacks. There was a split gun back there, and both running backs didn't even seem to know the ball was snapped. I think there was a miscommunication there with the snap count, and it bites the Jaguars in the butt. 50 seconds, and the clock is running. Left to go in the first quarter here. Your ball game 0-0 here in Barnesville. Looks like we're going to get maybe one playoff before the quarter, so we get to 38 seconds.
Another wide snap.
Another high snap, and it's a quarterback keeper. Rocks defense rallies.
And this crowd's starting to get into it a little bit more. They're pretty quiet through this most of this first quarter.
Ball carrier. Defensive tackle on the play by number 54, Gavin Carpenter.
And they can let the quarter end here.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're walking off. It looks like this will end the first quarter.
Anytime you got 3rd and 22, you take any more time you can to think about something there. So at the end of one here at Shamrocks Stadium.
It's about as much back and forth and excitement as I can remember in a 0-0 game. I mean, there's been some big plays from both sides, and just here, KIPP starting on the 10-yard line. First run goes for 12. Next snap goes for a loss of 12. Third snap, another loss.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of shooting ourselves in the foot there.
KIPP is, I mean, this is just a gut reaction in this first quarter. KIPP is extremely athletic, extremely big, but maybe not as fundamentally sound as some other teams.
Looking ahead here a little bit, we're allowed to, the players aren't. Fort Fry's up 6-0 over Nelsonville York. That is who would the winner of this game will play.
Looking ahead for either team. The winner of the night will play the winner of that at a neutral site. So even if the Rocks would win and be the higher seed next week, still going to be a neutral site. So this is the last game at Shamrock Stadium for this season.
Like I said earlier, you know, you want to be the first one to score in this game because it might swing the momentum. And you know, we're through one and we're scoreless still. Goose eggs everywhere.
Yeah. And, I mean, Rocks, both teams have found some success on the offensive end, just haven't been able to sustain a full drive.
Yeah. A lot of mistakes here, and I'm getting so fired up about these because when you're in such a crucial game, you know, like this where one team's season could be ended, a mistake like that could cost you everything.
Exactly.
And that's why they mean a lot here, so that's why I'm getting fired up. So it'll be 3rd and 24 here for the Jaguars as they'll take the snap, and it looks like a quarterback ISO. Going to pick up about 4, and that's going to bring up 4th and long. I want to thank our sponsors really quick. Hissam Service Center, Tuca's Woodworks, Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning, Root Design Company, Samantha Welch, Swally Trucking, Vision One Flooring. I want to thank our sponsors there. It means a lot.
Root Design, if you need some great t-shirts, I know they got some Barnesville ones. I got a couple. They're really nice, cool designs. Tuca's Woodworks, that's Brian and Curtis Jeffers for your unique high-end custom tables and furniture needs. And Hissam Service Center, we want to thank them for being a year-long sponsor. Every game we've been in here.
Looks like they try to get the punt off and delay a game, I do believe, and that's going to back up the Jaguars even further there. But yeah, I really want to thank our sponsors, you know. I have so much fun doing this up here with you. It's always a blast, to, you know, just to watch Shamrock football in general, and then to get up here and just talk about it, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, easiest job in the world up here, for the most part.
Funnest job in the world.
Yeah, that's more accurate.
Well, other maybe coaching for me, but...
This punt is straight up in the air.
A high one, direct bounce to Bliss. He's going to make a little high step. Doesn't fool anybody, but does make a nice cut. Jaguars rally to him, though. Net gain of about 3 or 4 on the return.
Still, Barnesville taking over at the 30. I mean, great. Easily best starting field position of this night for them. So, see what they can do here in the short field.
So the Rocks will officially take over right at the 30-yard line on the right hash. 10:54 left to go here in the second quarter. It felt like that first half flew by, Brian. Or the first quarter, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, both teams moving the ball. It keeps the clock running for the most part. Not a lot of stoppages.
Rocks will be in the I formation, 2 tight ends. Hannes will take the snap, turn around, hand it out to Owen Wise. Had a little bit of a lane there, but not before he was tripped up. Trying to see the number when he gets up. Looks like it was number 56, I do believe. Yeah, number 56 for KIPP, and that is Sid Kaba. Nice looking player there.
Yes, roster has him at 6'3", 265, and he looks every bit of it. I mean,
I ain't gonna argue with
a highly athletic play there.
Yeah, he was getting blocked and was able to, you know, use his hands and get off the block, which is something how you can usually tell if the defensive lineman's good or not if they're able to use their hands. As Hannes will do a little misdirection, a little play out of Fort Fry's book. As Hannes will meander his way up the sideline and pick up a nice chunk there.
That's an incredible play call there from Blake Allen. The long side of the field was going with the pitch, so I think everyone on KIPP thought that that's where the pitch was going.
Yeah.
Canis just did that, and I think he was surprised how open the right side of the field was.
I'm trying to figure out how I can describe that play. It was a fake toss, and then it came back with a quarterback sweep with a pulling guard out and around.
I don't know if it's designed to be a quarterback sweep or they have a receiver coming across for him to look for, but he was so open there that just running it made sense.
It almost looked like kind of a pin and pull action as Hannes will get back under the center and hand it off to Owen Wise. He's got a nice little crease. Going to get brought down after he gains about 6 yards there.
And I'll give KIPP credit. It looks like that Wise keeps having decent holes to run through, and it just closes extremely quick. And
that's what happens when you play a good team.
Nothing easy for the rest of the year.
No, that's for sure. It only gets harder, and you got to accept it and embrace it. Shamrock faithful coming alive here. Bliss will be the lone receiver at the top of your screen. Looks like a good matchup up there. Hannes will be under center. He's going to fake the toss. Going to run the same play again. His lead blocker, Salvador Alvarez, wasn't able to get in front of him. That's huge because I think there was one man to beat, and Alvarez wasn't able to get there. It looks like he lost his footing.
Yep, I mean, that was if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, another good play, and I think we'll start to see that pitch actually being made to set up that play, keep them guessing a little bit.
Well, in that formation, they got Bliss out at the top of your screen, one-on-one. I think they're going to come back to that matchup later. As the Rocks are going to get into the heavy eyes we've seen all year.
I expect you to see Jones or Hannes here.
Quarterback sneak! Rocks win the pile near the goal line, short, but picks up the first down. So it'll be first and goal here. Now you got 4 shots.
Big. First and goal from about the 1, 2, maybe. Yeah, ball on the 1. Can't get any better than first and goal from the 1. So
knocking on the door, but guess what? You get down here, snap first.
Yep.
That can ruin everything. You got to get the snap. You got to get the quarterback center exchange here. Looks like Hannes going to turn around and hand it off to Owen Wise again, and he walks in. Touchdown, Shamrocks.
And a long, they started at 30, but the Shamrocks doing what they need to there. And, taking advantage of the short field they were given. I mean, that's what happens when your defense forces them to punt from their own end zone. Good things can happen.
The Gavin Carpenter on the attempt the extra point. Snap is high. They're going to have to make a fire call here. As Van Horn rolls out to his right, throws it, got a man. Pass interference is going to be called. Rocks are going to get another attempt at this.
Bailed out there, but that was heads up play. I believe that's Aiden Van Horn.
Yes, Van Horn. Nice job there.
Heads up play to even catch that snap. That snap was a little off and able to make a play and give yourselves a shot at it at least. So now I expect to see us go for 2 after that snap and getting the yardage from the penalty.
Ball will be placed at the 1.5.
I expect to see the heavy set again.
Genius, Brian.
It's worked for you on this scoring drive about the entire time, so might as well go to it again.
And that's exactly what it looks like they're going to do. Once the refs let them get going here. Hannes will be under center. Alvarez in motion. Turn around and hand it off to Jones. Tries to run a fullback ISO, and I think he stuffed it, make it.
No good.
KIPP gave him everything they wanted there and then some. Couldn't get in. That might come back and bite him in the butt later.
A good play design. They had the one in the backfield who's not eligible to run the ball. That was 67, I believe, Alvarez. He went in motion and tried to clean up that hole, but KIPP just got a good push off the line, and we might see some short yardage situations be a little bit tougher for the Rocks than they normally are, but distinct size advantage for KIPP in the trenches.
KIPP did a nice job there covering up all their gaps. Usually when you look to attack an offense as a defense, you want to make sure there's a guy in every gap, whether it's someone coming down and filling late in the run, or if you're in a situation like this, you got guys walked up on the line of scrimmage. They did a nice job there covering up the interior. There was nothing there simply for the Rocks.
Yeah, and the Shamrocks running in between the tackles has been a lot more successful than I thought it would be, just looking at the lineups and bodies and everything. So, I mean, maybe trying to establish that, and then in the second half we'll see a little bit more runs out on the edges.
Gavin Carpenter set to kick off here. Rocks are going to be in their traditional 4x6 kickoff set. Carpenter set to send her deep. And he does. Nice kick.
That's taking him back
to about the 5-yard line, where it'll be fielded by number 24, Antonio Campbell. It's a reverse. And knocked out of bounds at around the 15 there. Reverse to number 4. That was the Cam Frazier.
Camden Carpenter with the tackle on the play.
Camden Carpenter on the tackle there. A little trickery there.
A lot of credit to Barnesville staying in their lanes on the kickoff return, because, I mean, if they got caught following the ball, that reverse was going to be wide open, and he'd probably still be running.
You know, that's a play when you look at this group of kids and what they've went through and how they've progressed through 4 years. That's the type of play, you know, coming off a touchdown like that, I could see going for 6.
Yeah.
You know, when they're young and not as mature, and then as you get older and progress, and some of these kids, you know, get this important experience, as Campbell runs ahead for about 2 or 3, and you end up making those plays like that.
And typically your kickoff, any special teams lineup for the most part is going to be a lot of underclassmen that aren't in on offense or defense. So credit to them knowing to stay in your lanes, well coached there, and able to stop a big play before it can happen. KIPP able to break through on another run, 24 again.
Campbell.
Yep. We'll set up another third down for KIPP. And not really testing the Shamrock secondary as much as I thought they might.
Yeah, I am surprised about that too, as Frazier will take the snap, turns around and hands it to Campbell again. Tough sledding in there, but he's got enough for the first down. Chains will move. You know, we haven't seen Tymier win yet ever since the first drive. I didn't see him go down, but I mean, I can't find him on the sideline over there. And it looks like that's really affecting the Jaguars here, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's something halftime we'll try to come up with some kind of information on that. But, yeah, you're right.
Because, man, this team was clicking a lot better when he was on the field. False start there. Just make sure we got our names right. They'll take the snap, and Frazier's going to get around the edge. Makes Luke Deckley miss. And a nice tackle there by Chase Connor.
Man, he came out of nowhere on that one. I thought it might be a little bit of trouble for the Rocks once he made the corner miss. But athletic run there, but even better for Chase Connor to track him down.
Antonio Campbell's the player down for the Jaguars here. Their tailback. Introduce somebody coming into the broadcast.
He had so much fun last week that he decided to join us in the booth, taking a minute away from his athletic director duties to come talk to us for a little bit. Brad Hannes.
Thanks, guys. I just mainly wanted to come in and just thank Strauss Films for this season, streaming our games again. Also wanted to congratulate Tyler Jenkins on his appearance at the state cross country meet today. He had a heck of a meet. Placed 42nd out of a lot of kids. I'm not sure exactly how many.
I think it was close to 200, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. And so he did really well. And I just want to thank you guys for doing this, taking time out of your days to come watch some Shamrock football and analyze it. And I know you guys have a lot of fun up here. And I did last week, as you said. So anyway, look forward to good next another half of football. And also I want to keep our thoughts with James Moore and his family to the tragic car wreck this past week. So just everybody listening, maybe say a prayer for him and his family. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, Brad. Always a pleasure having you in here.
It looks like a timeout here by KIPP. Trouble getting lined up here. A couple injuries seem to have really thrown their operation in for a tailspin here.
Looking at KIPP's sideline, not a lot of extra bodies there.
Because, boy, when they first came out in that first series, Brian, they looked really good.
I thought we were looking at a possible shootout there. I mean, Barnesville throwing the pick on their first possession, but otherwise was moving the ball pretty effectively. But points getting harder to come by. I mean, guess that's November playoff football for you. I mean, for as explosive as this KIPP team is, last week was only 13-12 against Sims Valley, I believe. And so, I mean, typically in these grinded out games, and that's a type Shamrocks haven't had a ton of this year. So might be something to keep your eye on for the rest of this one.
And the point I was really looking forward to this game was the one time the Shamrocks got hurt this year was when they played Wyatt Ryman and the Shadyside Tigers. Superior athlete, was best athlete on the field.
No question.
No question, right? And I was wondering if one of these kids from KIPP, if they were going to be able to get them the ball like they did Ryman, if one of them would take over, and we haven't seen that just yet.
We haven't seen that one guy that they have, but...
Nice pass here by Frazier. It looks like he's going to have number 5 right in the breadbasket, but number 9, C.J. Hannes, with a beautiful deflection there.
Credit to Hannes there. I didn't think he was going to get a hand on that one, and he would have been gone.
I think he had him in stride there. Intended receiver was number 5, Xavier Ferguson.
I think Hannes was able to just get enough of a hand in his chest and knock that ball away a little bit. But, man, Barnesville, another one that could have went either way, and fortunate again.
So it'll be 3rd and 15 here with 6:17 left to go before half. Frazier will take the snap, looks to get around the edge, and does. As he's going to get brought down for around a 3 or 4 yard gain. And so now potentially punt time here for the Jaguars. Really looks like this Rocks defense is starting to settle in here.
Yeah, and I was trying to see exactly what defense we were in. We only did a 3-man front there. I'm guessing we're doing an extra DB, but I'm thinking we're going like a 3-4 look.
In the long yardage situations,
Or maybe even a 3-3-5. I mean, at this level, your DBs could easily turn into outside linebackers based on need, so... Ooh.
Punt almost blocked here. Short one. Flutters around the 47 up to about the 50. Be fielded by Bliss as he runs out of bounds right there. And so the Rocks will take over at midfield.
And I think what they're going to tell Bliss when he gets to the sideline is try to catch that ball in the air, get some momentum behind you. As soon as he let that bounce, it took away any chance for a return. And we've seen so many times this year that Spencer Bliss has changed the game on a punt return.
You know, the rule usually is if you're going backwards, you fair catch it. If you're going forwards, you usually want to return unless you feel that presence up on you quick. And it also depends on, how high the punt is and if the punt coverage is able to get down the field.
Punt
that
had
right
some
there,
good height,
could have came down a little.
Punt had some height, but it didn't go particularly far.
As they're going to come back to that toss play that you were talking about earlier, they set up as Weiss hits a nice cutback lane. Picks up about 8 or 9.
I see that play design being a big part of our game plan the rest of this game. Keep KIPP guessing on whether or not we're going to pitch it or if we're going to do a Hannes keeper on it. And I wouldn't be surprised to add another wrinkle with Hannes keeping and then having a receiver run along the flat and try to catch him sleeping.
trick play here for those of you looking at home. Bliss is all by himself down at the sideline. They're going to throw it to him. He's going to catch it, no one around him. And he falls, and he tried to make someone miss, and he fell, but at least he picked up the first down. Saw that coming from a mile away.
I wasn't looking particularly on that, but they make it look like Bliss was coming out and going to the sideline and just lined up directly on the sideline pretty much. Is that what happened there?
That's an old play Blake Allen stole from Rivers head coach Mike Flannery. They've used many times. Worked once. I think first year we tried it was when I was on staff 3 years ago playing Union Local, and it worked.
And in these winter go-home games, I mean,
Anything
can't
goes.
hold anything back.
The Rocks will be in an old-fashioned Caldwell-like set. Here's Bliss will take a direct snap and get up around the left side. Pick up about 5 or 6. So right there they had Bliss at quarterback, and then 2 up backs, one right beside him and one right in front of him, and they're just straight fullbacks. And it's just a way to where you can get your guy moving side to side in space and don't have to be under center.
Kind of a wildcat look.
A little bit, yeah. Caldwell used to run that a lot with a former All-American running back at Marietta College, Tanner Clark. And they were on their state playoff runs there earlier last decade. As
I think we're going to get a timeout from KIPP. And Shamrocks moving the ball effectively again here. So I think KIPP just trying to stop the bleeding a little bit and work on getting a big stop here.
So with 3:49 left to go before half, Rocks will have it 2nd and 5, up 6-0 over the KIPP Jaguars out of Columbus. Nice looking team, like we said. Good size, good speed. A couple injuries, though, have looked to be a factor in their play here, and the Rocks are moving, looking to get up 2 scores here before half. Use this opportunity again to thank our sponsors if you want to read them off there.
Yeah, so we got Hissam Service Center, as we have for every game this year. We want to thank them for being a season-long sponsor to us and Strauss Films. 2 Cuz Woodworks, so Brian and Curtis Jeffers for all your custom tables and furniture. Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning. Root Design Company for great quality t-shirts. Samantha Welch with Harvey Goodman Realtors. Swally Trucking. And Vision One Flooring. We want to thank you all for allowing us to be up here and bring you this live stream.
So it looks like the Rocks will be in the same set, lined up to the other side as Bliss is going to hit a crease, picks up the first down up around the 10-yard line, as he wasn't able to get the edge, but the 2 lead blockers there did a nice job of separating and creating a crease there. He was able to hit it and explode for a good gain.
That's just getting your best player the ball in space. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep going to it here.
This will be 1st and 10, 3:27 left to go here before half. Looks like the Rocks are going to come out in the same set. So the 2 upbacks are Owen Wise and Connor Jones. As Bliss will take the snap, it's going to be a little ISO play. As Bliss hits the whole hard. He's close to the goal line. They're going to call him short, though.
But this little wrinkle from the Barnesville defense, but it's got KIPP a little stumped right now. I mean, I'm sure Barnesville has a wrinkle where Spencer Bliss will throw a pass. He threw one last week, I believe it was. He threw a long one off a trick play, a double pass. But right now, the run's working effectively, and KIPP knows what's coming. It's just not able to stop it.
Hannah's back in the ball game. Under center, they're back in their heavy eye formation. Alvarez, the extra back in the backfield. So they'll turn around and hand it off to Bliss. Touchdown, Rocks! Close there. KIPP had a guy off the edge. Looks like he got a hand on Bliss's back. If he's able to make that play, this might have changed the game.
Yep. And you go heavy with 2 fullbacks, but that's the danger with that. It takes a little bit longer for the handoff to get there and develop. I'm sure the Barnesville coaching staff saw that and might look to go just a heavy with a fullback.
Yeah, I don't know. That guy was really close to making a play off the edge, and, it might not hurt him now, but you look into maybe something like that, a big play in the same scenario later on down the line, whether it's in this game or if they're fortunate enough to get to next week, might make a difference.
Good back to the point.
Rocks will be in the same formation. Bliss looks to throws. Got Chase Carter. Reaches out. For a 2-point conversion. I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself there. 2-point conversion. What a call there by Coach Allen. Did such a great job running that formation. You come back in the same formation. You leak your tight end across the back end of the end zone. And great pitch and catch there.
Yeah, well executed and puts Barnesville up 14. So, I mean, I think they're starting to find some offensive identity in this game. For KIPP, we'll see if Tamir Wynn comes back. I mean, like we said, their offense was humming pretty well that first possession when they had Wynn in at quarterback.
Good look there from our.
Really appreciate them doing that. It gives another perspective to this game. Like we said, from our view up here, we didn't have a great look at that play, but that view, our view did not do that play justice.
No. Carpenter will be set to kick the ball in the orbit here as he boots it. Low line drive. Fielded around the 10-yard line by Frazier. And he's going to spin ahead. Get up to about the 25-yard line. Powell's pushing close to the 30. Nice job there fighting for extra yardage, and that's where the Jaguars will take over.
Taysom Starr in the tackle for the Shamrocks.
Taysom Starr with the tackle there for the Rocks. Boy, once that sun went down, Brian, cold quick.
Oh, yeah. I think it was in the 50s today, but as soon as that sun went down, I think it was supposed to drop into the 30s during this game, and through the night, I saw maybe in the 20s. So we'll see if KIPP can get some momentum going before the half. I mean, still no win at quarterback.
Frazier will be in the pistol. He's going to turn around and hand it off to Campbell. He's going to make a nice cut. Nice seam there. He's going to make a man miss. That was Detling. Up the sideline goes Campbell. Finally, maybe, brought down around the 15-yard line. Great response there by KIPP.
Just what the doctor ordered for the Jaguars.
I'm telling you, man, that's what a good team does. They respond and respond quickly. As KIPP went quick, and Coach Allen will take a timeout and a good one there. They were going very quick, and I think they had another play ready to go, probably to take a shot at the end zone. And I don't blame them. Usually you get a big play and you take a shot right after it.
They had the Barnesville defense reeling a little bit there. And I don't believe KIPP subbed anyone, so that means Barnesville isn't afforded the time to sub. They still can, but the ref's not going to stop the ball for them to sub. So, yeah, it was good use of a timeout there, but KIPP knocking on the door again. And I tell you, this running back for them.
Antonio Campbell. Speedster.
Yeah. Like I said, pretty small, but able to run or find holes, and he hits them quick, and it's tough to catch up to.
Nice crease there, and he hit it hard. And ran right beside the Rock safeties. Ran right by him. Finally, Wise made a nice play and got him down. Kind of able to call timeout and try to rally the troops there, but I'm impressed by that. So Frazier will still be in a quarterback, in the pistol. Campbell, the tailback behind him. Frazier will take the snap, turn around, hand it off to Campbell once again. Plows forward, stays up. What a nice job by him. He's finally going to get marked down after forward progress, but not before he picks up 7.
He's tough to take down.
Nice tailback there.
Yep, Shamrocks just have to get a little lower and drive him back in the legs, but as long as he's keeping his legs moving, he's keeping the pile moving.
Interesting to see how the Rocks are going to respond to this. Haven't seen Frazier throw, one ball, I do believe, and it was batted down by Hannes. Interesting to see if they will try to chuck one at the end zone here on second medium. As he'll take the snap, turn around, hand it off to Campbell. Met in the backfield, makes 2 men miss. That wasn't Campbell, actually. I think it was.
Down the ball player for the Jaguars.
I want to say that was Christian Brown, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Christian Brown, number 1 there. He had 2 guys right on him right now. Made them both miss, but good rally there by the Shamrocks. And it'll bring up 3rd and about 2 with a minute left before half. And so now you got to start thinking about the time. Kind of surprised on 3rd down that Coach Allen didn't take a timeout. As Frazier will take the snap. It's going to be a direct quarterback run. Lazier was there, but he misses a tackle, and they get the 1st down, so I guess a good thing he didn't take the timeout. Flag comes in late.
Late flag. See what happened here.
This is big, which way it goes. Someone's down on the ground for KIPP. Trainers ran over immediately. Hopefully it wasn't dirty. Also, another Shamrock down the back of the end zone. There's a Shamrock down in the back of the end zone. Not a good situation here.
I can't tell who's down for either team right now.
I think it's fit for the Rocks. It's number 53, Ethan Spangenberg. The player from KIPP is on his feet but bent down. Hopefully he's okay as well. The flag thrown in late. It's hard to tell what happened in there.
Yeah, they'll take care of the players first, and then I guess we'll get the penalty.
I'm telling you, Brian, since I've got here, it's dropped about 15 degrees. It feels like it anyway. I'm sure it hasn't, but I'm about half chilly up here. And we're in the box. Looks like the player for KIPP that was down was number 4, the quarterback, Cam Frazier. Back on his feet. KIPP's ready to go. Need to see the penalty address. Spangenberg looks to have, I believe it's Spangenberg. Helmet's off. Gimping back to the sideline. Rock's defense trots back out in the field.
Oh, and the thing to remember here, KIPP with the ball knocking on the door, they will receive the second half kickoff. So, big chance, like you said earlier, establish momentum going into the half and coming out of it. So, big moment in this game here.
So it'll be 1st and goal here. 40 seconds, clock started. Brown will take the snap. Dives in, touchdown Jaguars! Frazier came out there after the injury. Never found out what the penalty was, did we?
I think it was on Shamrocks, and it was just half the distance to the goal, so it ended up being about a half yard or so.
So touchdown, great response before half by the Jaguars. Cut the lead to 8 here, 14-6. They're going to have the ball placed on the left hash. Go for 2 here. A tight trip set to the top of your screen. Frazier and a quarterback, Campbell in at tailback. So he'll take the snap and he's going to roll to the top of the end zone there. He's got a man open in the back of the end zone. Doesn't throw it. Finally does. Caught. 2-point conversion completed. 14-8 Rocks. Pass was thrown very late, almost like a jump pass. That was number 5, Xavier Ferguson. Went up and got it.
Ref's talking about something here.
Not sure what they're talking about. Maybe if he was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw it. I don't know.
They did just throw a flag.
So they're going to say Frazier, I believe, was beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. It's exactly what it is.
That'll back him up. Well, no, that'll be the play. Like, that ends the play.
That ends the play. It's done. So 2-point strip from KIPP after a nice-looking play. I mean, that's been the story, you know, thus far this half for KIPP is mistakes, because this game can be a lot different.
Shamrock's forcing it again on that one. I mean, they've been getting some breaks here and there, and that's a big one. There's a lot of difference between a 14-6 and a 14-8 ball game.
Because before you got, you know, they get any kind of point after, you know, they're going for the lead. Now you got the leverage to where, yeah, you got to score a touchdown. Now go ahead and get 2 on us right after it.
But, as we said earlier, KIPP now, within 1 possession, they get the ball coming out of this half. Shamrock's going to either need to find some magic here in this last 30 seconds or come out with a big stop in the initial drive of the 3rd quarter.
I've always believed how you go into the locker room and how you come out of the locker room at halftime will determine the game. I've always believed that, and we'll see how the Rocks respond here. 33 seconds left. those of you at home. Yusuf Torre to kick off here for the Jaguars. Connor, Wise, Bliss, set back deep to return. KIPP changed up their kickoff formation, I do believe. They're now 4v6 here. Kick is up, fielded by Connor around the 15. Connor's going to make a main miss. He's got a seam. He's up the middle of the field, trying to get his blocker out of the way. He's going to get brought down at around the 43-yard line. 25 seconds left. Rock's got to go quick here.
Yep.
And we'll see what they can conjure up.
Shamrocks still have a timeout left to burn, but I expect to see some passes to the sideline trying to stop the clock. I mean,
like I said, they're going to have to go quick. You're going to have, like you said, one timeout. You're going to have to get out of bounds. You're going to have to pick up a big chunk of yardage on one of these plays and take some shots at the end zone. If not, try to maybe trot out Lowe or Carpenter to get a quick 3 here before half.
Both good kicking options, but I think for that to be a realistic option, they'd have to get it to about the 15-yard line in my estimation.
So Hannes will be in empty gun. He's on drop back, looks, throws. He's got Connor. Ball should have been caught. Popped out, incomplete. That would have been huge. That was a chunk play you needed.
Yeah, wide open in the seam.
Yeah. Right there, they finally took their shot and did, and just couldn't execute.
Yep. I think a key we've been seeing Barnesville on offense is trying to spread out this KIPP defense. I mean, doing the same thing KIPP does to them. Go 3 or 4 wide.
Looks like they'll be in 4 wide here. Trips to the top of your screen.
They will go with a second safety to help above on each side.
Another quick throw, quick slant to Detling, caught 6 yards, 15 seconds, timeout called by Allen.
Waste the timeout there.
Now it's going to make it 3rd and about 3. So, looking at this, clock will stop for just a moment. If you get the first down, then you're going to have to get on it and spike it. So I bet they're trying to chunk it in half. They was probably hoping to get the first down right there.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to keep him up on his feet with the throw.
This has either got to be just something quick to get the first down and a spike, or something to the sidelines to get the first down and
quick out, maybe a rollout or a waggle to some, away or a comeback or something. 14 seconds.
Whatever it is, it's just got to be pretty quick, or it's got to get them some good yardage. Either or there, but
you kind of got to make the decision whether you want to just use this time and how you want to pick up the first down. I think you got to, and then it's. What I want to do, do I want to take shots at the end zone, or I want to try to chunk it in half and then try to kick a field goal? It's your decision.
Be interesting to see how they play this, because like we said, Connor on that first play, wide open down the seam. I mean, just unable to pull it up. But if he was able to catch that, Shamrocks would be knocking at the door again.
Clock's going to stop for momentarily when they get the first down, just to reset the chains, and they'll have to get going from there. Connor's going to be in the slot here, uncovered, got a safety hovering over top of him. As trips will be at the bottom of your screen, Hannes will look, throws, going to the sideline to Bliss. Ball incomplete. That would have been huge.
Yep. That was a nice back shoulder throw, just a little too far out for Bliss to make the catch. And I think you go for it here, but now 10 seconds left without a timeout left. Got to pick up the yardage for the first and get to the line and spike it immediately and give yourself another shot at the end zone or an extremely long field goal.
Yeah, ball was, a little past Bliss's outreached arms. Unfortunately, he couldn't catch it. His Hannes will be in the gun. He's going to roll to the right, throws quick, got Bliss. He's going to get tackled, but I don't know that he even has the first down. He does. He's short.
Bliss is down again. He's crawling off to the sideline in some obvious pain. Yep. Short of the first down, KIPP will take over.
Lack of execution there by the Rocks players.
The receivers just have to know where the first down marker is and got to get there, and just in case you don't get a run after a catch.
Bent his route back too far. Looks like KIPP is just trying to rally the troops to get in here, take a knee on it. 5 seconds left and get to the locker room. Play clock started. No. Timeout. KIPP. For whatever reason, they can't get lined up.
Interesting.
I don't think they're going to try to run a trick play. I think this is strictly they can't get the personnel on the field. They're, for whatever reason, thought maybe they were just going to go to halftime. But anytime you get a timeout in a situation like this, just put a couple guys back deep just in case. The only thing it hurts is they're going to have to run an extra 30 yards to the locker room.
And giving you an update there, Spencer Bliss walking to the locker room, limping pretty noticeably, so we hope he's able to go in the second half. But
long time out here.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, yeah.
Refs try to rally the troops here.
Barnesville just can't let anyone past you here. I mean, I don't expect to see KIPP do anything too outside of the box, but
they might just run it and just say, heck with it. If we get something, we get something. If not. So it looks like KIPP will be out in their same formation they've been running for most of the game. It'll be a pistol with two backs. Slot receiver to the top of your screen. Frazier at quarterback. Bad snap. He's going to look back. Drops back. Looks to throw. Makes a nice move. And he's just going to run it. Brought down by Tayson Starr. Nice open field tackle there. That's going to send us to halftime here. Your score here in Barnesville. Rocks 14. Jaguars 6. Heading into the locker room at half.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, tightly contested first half. Neither team able to get too much momentum. We thought the Rocks were was looking to take it all away, and KIPP came back with that long run that set up their touchdown drive to end the half. And coming out of the half, they will get the opening kickoff and look to get this game closer or even tie it up.
Quick look at some scores around the Valley. A lot of playoff games tonight. You know, the smaller divisions play on Saturday, and the larger divisions play on Friday. Waterford 6, Shadyside 12 at half. Waterford has a very nice tailback by the name of Holden Daly, and he might be just as good, if not better, in Ryman. So that was one I was really, looking into tonight. That was at Shadyside. And then we have Bel Air's losing 14-7 at half to Garfield, which is in Garrettsville, up in between Youngstown and Cleveland, I do believe. And if you ever thought we run heavy, don't watch them, because they don't even have a quarterback. It's just a running back, kind of like what we do with Bliss there. They do it every play.
Last week, Colgrove, everyone on their roster was listed as a running back or a lineman. There was no quarterbacks, no receivers, nothing.
Another local score, Newark Catholic beating Caldwell 35-0.
That's a nightmare matchup.
Yeah. Another interesting one, River, a team that we beat earlier this year, up 33-14 over Bern Union, who I know has a very talented roster.
Yeah, Bern Union, I believe, is the second seed there. Pilots coming in as a 7, but that's an impressive. Coach Flannery's got the Pilots playing pretty good football at the right time.
And I do believe it's all locally, other than Ridgewood's beating Wheelersburg 13-10 at half. So we will take a break here, turn it over to the Shamrock Marching Band, and we'll catch you guys in the second half.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the best band in Shamrock Country, the Barnesville Shamrock Marching Band. George Michael considered no hope and run onto the field by head Willow Wade. This evening I still include picks from the Once again, the Barnesville Exemption Village School District in Shamrock football would like to thank the
All right, we're back here to start the second half at Shamrock Stadium. Rock set to kick off. Carpenter still the kicker. Back deep for the Jaguars is Campbell and Frazier. 14-6, our score here to start the half after a very interesting first half, huh, Brian?
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
This kick is going to be fielded by number 5. That's Christian Brown. He's going to get around the left side. Nice block there. Finally brought down by a couple Shamrocks up around the 36-7-yard line. So a nice little return there. And the Jaguars will get going here. Only down 1 score, but they'll have to go for 2 since the other one was called back with a penalty.
Yeah, should be interesting. I mean, KIPP was driving the ball extremely well, running the ball effectively to end that first half. We'll see if they can keep that momentum that they had going for them and continue it in the start of the second half.
So KIPP will have the ball. Left hash, exactly at the 37. And that's where we'll start the second half. He'll take the snap. It'll be direct snap to Frazier. He's going to get brought down from behind by Ethan Spangenberg.
And that's huge. Like, that play from the backside has to, that DN to make the play, that's going to make Barnesville a lot more effective against this running attack from the Jaguars.
Still no word about what happened to quarterback Tymier Wynn. Like we said earlier, their offense looked a whole lot better when he was in, but Frazier's taken over, and he's got a nice explosive run here as he's going to get brought down, but not before he picks up a first down. Gain of about 11 there. That'll move the chains.
And KIPP just running the ball pretty effectively. I mean, haven't been able to sustain it for a full drive too often, but they've been able to get some nice chunks of 10 to 15 yards on some runs here. I don't think they've completed a pass and have rarely went to the air in general.
Be interesting to see how their offensive attack here plays out. Frazier will take the snap. Officials timeout. The men dressed up as zebras, even though Halloween was last week. They'll want to restart the play clock and try to get things figured out here.
He took a look at the right tackle for KIPP, but I don't know what he was looking at. Something with the helmet, but
did something beyond us.
Must wanted to hear him blow his whistle, I guess.
So Frazier will take a snap, drop back, looks the throws. He's got Brown on a nice post route, brought down by Owen Wise, but picks up about 25 there.
In the middle of the field, just wide open, 20 yards down.
That wasn't Brown, I'm sorry. That was Xavier Ferguson, who's had a couple catches tonight, actually. Nice route there by 5.
And Barnesville moving Hannes to safety out to a side, and that just opened up the middle there where he traditionally plays, and that's a nice solid strike there for KIPP.
Gain of about 2 here by Campbell. They'll bring up 2nd and 8. Ball to 25-yard line. Rocks up 8. And they'll come out and they'll be in the gun. Frazier will drop back, looks, throws. Same route! Picked off, throw it right to Connor. Chase Connor lost his footing.
I don't know if he just didn't see Connor, but Connor was spying that the whole way. They tried to get him with another post, and Connor just popped up and our throw was right to him. Didn't have to move at all for it.
It's interesting because you don't know if that was a different call and an adjustment made by defense coordinator Bryce Allen, or Connor just wasn't in the right spot last time, and it worked so well they weren't worried back to it, but they got him this time because he was where he was supposed to be.
And whatever it was, great adjustment, and it works out for the Rocks, and that shuts down another KIPP drive that looked promising for a while.
So the Rocks will be in the gun here. Connor, the tight end in motion. Hannes will take the snap, fake the pitch out to Wise, and he'll come around on the quarterback sweep, and he's going to pick up about 6 or 7. Thrown into the fence. Fly comes in late. Shamrock baseball is mad.
And Hannes got thrown into the fence there. I think if he would have just went to the ground, got thrown to the ground, they might not have called that. But when he gets thrown into the fence, the official feels like he's got to call something there.
Anytime there's any extra, movement towards make an attack or any kind of aggression, as soon as your foot goes out of bounds, it's, it could always warrant a flag. In that case, it did. I think it looked worse because the fence is only 3 foot from the sideline. But regardless, you got to be disciplined enough not to do that.
And through 2+ quarters of this game, that's been the Rock's best play style. I mean, either that fake pitch like they ran there or doing the pitch the other way. I mean, that's gotten them pretty positive yardage on about every time they've ran it so far.
It's a nice progression of plays that Coach Allen has. DeSantis will take the snap, flag on a play. He's going to pick up about 6 or 7.
That ball's thrown, or that flag was thrown immediately, even before there probably could have been holding. So that makes me wonder there.
I don't think the Rocks were set, and that's what it was thrown on. Too many. You can't have more than one guy in motion. Someone else was probably moving while Bliss was in motion, so we'll call it on that. So it'll negate the nice run there by Hannes. Get the Rocks off schedule. Be 1st and 15. 9:46 and counting here, left in the 3rd. Brian, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of like hanging out over by this heater on the wall. It got chilly tonight.
Yeah, I'm making the sacrifice here, getting the view, getting it so we can both see.
Yeah. I'm doing this because of the view, not because of the heat. So they'll come back and run the same type of play, but they'll give the jet to Bliss. Nice block by Owen Wise there. Bliss running side to side instead of vertical. Not going to really pick up much there. I think the Rocks had a really nice play set up right there. And the lack of, effort to get vertical with that run, I think, stunted it.
Give credit to KIPP. They did pretty good contain there. Made the outside look good for Bliss, and he tried to break it out, but they closed on him quick and just
they rallied quick.
Minimal gain there.
So it'll be 2nd and 14. Here, Rocks will be in a trip set. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Hannes will take the snap, drops back, looks. It's going to be a screen out to Wise. They got blockers out for him. Alvarez gets a nice block. Wise will run through a man. He's going to be about 3 yards short of the first down marker, and that'll bring up a 3rd manageable.
And again, when they throw that pass, he's got 30 yards in front of him, and this KIPP team just extremely quick to close on the ball, and still gets about 13 there, but stops him. Actually, I think he got about 12 there. I'm going to stop him 3 yards short of the first down.
So it'll be 3rd and short here for the Rocks. Hannes will be under center, high formation. He'll turn around and hand it off. That's to Wise. And
he is upended.
Trips Wise up, red line scrimmage for no gain.
So we'll see what the Rocks do here. And a similar spot to what they were in the first half when they tried to use a hard count and get KIPP to jump, but it was unsuccessful, and they ended up punting to KIPP. And I believe that was when KIPP had a really good punt return for a touchdown. They got called back, so dangerous team to kick to.
Yeah, I don't think they want to kick back to him, as it looks like they're going to be in the same set, and it'll be a direct snap to Bliss. Nice punt.
And he's just going to let that one go. It's going to take it. Whoa, would have taken a Shamrock bounce, but they caught it as soon before it bounced.
Connor ran up on it, and so KIPP will take over around the 17-yard line. Obviously, it's been made apparent to me that Barnesville does not want to kick to KIPP, and for good reason. Like you said, that one got called back, and I don't think we might see the regular punt unit out unless it's 3rd or 4th and forever.
Well, and 2, we've yet to see KIPP really punt to a Shamrock returner. Spencer Bliss, normally back there, hasn't really got going on any returns. The one time that they came out with good field position was on the short punt that only got to about the 30, and it ended up in a touchdown for the Rocks. But I think both teams have game breakers that return punts and kicks, so both teams playing it extremely safe whenever they have to kick the ball.
So Frazier will be in the pistol, will turn around and hand it off to Campbell, and he'll pick up about 3, a tough 3.
Campbell the ball there. Back on the play by number 63, Orion Smith. Doing a 3 on the play.
So it'll bring up 2nd and 7 here. Rocks up 8. KIPP looking to answer. They'll have to get a 2-point conversion to tie here, so that's a crucial thing. So we have to look back, you know, when there was the attempted 2-point conversion earlier. As Campbell hits the hole hard, tries to break 3 tacklers, leans forward, he's close to the first down. But you look back to that 2-point conversion they had earlier and they completed it, but they said the quarterback was beyond the line of scrimmage and they negated it.
Yeah, there's just been a couple moments like that that may not seem like a big play, but right now that's a big difference here.
So it'll be 3rd and 1 here. As he'll take the snap, and it was bad. It was supposed to be a handoff to Campbell, but Frazier said, I'll do the rest, as he'll have one man to beat. That's Hannes. He's going to make a cut. He's going to go the distance. Going to be a touchdown for KIPP on a busted play.
And that's ones as a Shamrocks, that'll drive you insane. That was a busted play from the beginning, a bad snap that he couldn't get the handoff, and he just calls his own number and goes virtually untouched.
That was, I'm more athletic than you, catch me. And no one could. So that brings our score to 14-12. KIPP is going to have to go for 2. They're going to put the ball on the left hash. You get the choice on the 2-point conversion here. Campbell will be the lone back in the backfield. They're going to roll towards him. Frazier's going to pump. Roll, throw, fires! Pass deflected, incomplete. So KIPP will remain down 2 points here.
But yeah, I mean, good scoring drive there. I was just thinking that the Shamrocks were doing a little bit better of getting to the ball on the ball carrier and limiting the bigger gains, but then he just takes a busted play and goes the distance. I mean, it's one that's not going to have the Shamrock coaching staff too happy.
So looks like we have ourselves a ball game, Brian.
Yep, like we said from the start, we expected this one to be a tight one. Just got a little bit tighter.
Yeah. See how the Rocks respond here. It'd be interesting to see, you know, if they go back to that same progression of plays to where they're using a toss and a quarterback sweep off it, or if they have a pass off it for some sort of screen. I'm sure there's a third wrinkle in there. I'm curious to see if we see that here.
And Barnesville's been moving the ball pretty effectively. They just got themselves a little bit behind schedule and couldn't recover. So staying in front of the chains is the key for Barnesville on this next possession.
Speaking of the chains, shout out to our chain game who did a tremendous job all year. And
we were told at halftime by not only a member of the chain gang, but the mayor of Barnesville that we gave everyone shout-outs on this stream except for the chain gang. So we want to give a shout-out and thank you to everything they do to make the game days go. And we got an onside kick here.
Oh, it looks like the KIPP had a chance at it, but the Rocks recover.
Well, it looked like almost it was touched by a KIPP player before it reached 10 yards, but it was close. I think, yep, they did call that.
Yep. They sure did. They said he touched it before. Interesting, man. That was a really interesting looking onside kick. Rocks were not expecting it at all. Good job to go back and get on it, but I like the call there by KIPP.
You got some momentum going for you. Why not try to just take control of this game?
I wasn't expecting it, that's for sure. Quick look at the scores around the Valley. Shady Side's up 20-6 over Waterford. Bel Air's still down 23-14 under Garfield. And River still up over Byrne Union, 33-21. So Hannes will be in a 5-wide set. Looks like he wants to put a man in motion, but doesn't. They're going to throw a bubble out to Bliss. It's 3v2, and he's going to get a nice block. Finally brought down after about 6 or 7.
And that was just a case of having more receivers out to a side than they had DBs, so it was 2-on-2 blocking pretty much, and that was Bliss able to pick up about 7.
Where I was saying earlier, the seam was open. That's because you only got 2 guys on 3 out there.
And it's a good thing he did throw that screen because they had an open blitzer that was coming untouched right at Hannes and almost got a hand on the ball, honestly.
So there's no one really out on the 3 receivers on the top of your screen as Connor was screaming at Hannes to snap it because they had the mismatch out there, and he wasn't able to, and KIPP was able to come in and call a timeout there, and rightfully so.
And I think they just got saved there big time, and their coach was not too happy that he had to get that timeout called. But I don't think Coach Allen was happy that they didn't get that snap off.
Yeah, you can use your timeouts whenever, usually in the first half. In the second half, though, you want to save them, especially in a close game, because you get a possession, you're down a score with a minute to go, you're going to need all three.
Yeah, if you're KIPP, you didn't want to use it there, but if you're Coach Allen, you didn't want him to use it there either, because I think he saw something he really liked and just wasn't able to take advantage of it.
But the sad thing is, it's better to use a timeout than to give up 6.
Exactly. Any timeout that saves a touchdown is a timeout worth taking.
That's right. That's the frustrating thing. I'm sure their defensive coordinator's frustrated not being able to get lined up. And we haven't seen a ton of empty tonight, so I'm sure that plays into it. It's interesting what you can do to manipulate the defense when you go into so many different looks. We'll be in a heavy eye, and you turn around and you're in the 5 wide. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to prepare for both, and it's really hard for kids to understand that and to be able to grasp, what you're asking them to do and figure out what the offense is truly trying to do.
And like we said, coming off a game last week against Colgrove that you saw 3 fullbacks, 2 tight ends each play, this is a lot different than you're used to seeing.
So the Rocks will come back out, and the same thing. Wide open, Chase Connor, touchdown, Shamrocks.
You called that one early. Seam wide open. I think was waiting on another bubble screen there, and just no one went with Connor. I think Connor took a couple steps pretending to be a blocker and then just took off, and there wasn't anyone within 15 yards when he caught that.
Rocks finally able to attack the seam, and it looked like they had a fake bubble at the top of the screen, and Hannah's kind of looked at it for a second, and Connor was just able to run wide open. And
just that moment of looking towards the screen was enough to freeze all the KIPP defenders, and Connor was just able to run past them all.
So now Carpenter will be on to attempt the extra point as KIPP's head coach is trying to get something explained to him by the referee.
I don't think there was anything I think the only thing he might be looking for is if Connor wasn't an eligible receiver there, it'd be an ineligible receiver downfield, but I think pretty clearly lined up as a receiver.
Carpenter's kick is up and good by a mile. That'll bring our score to Barnesville, 21, KIPP, 12.
And good response there from the Rocks. KIPP was looking to take some momentum and right back. Now we'll see if the defense can get a big stop here.
Other than a busted play, and it seems like anytime KIPP's really moved the ball, it was on these unorthodox type plays. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to put together a drive or just continue to big play it.
Well, one thing I noticed on that last scoring drive for KIPP is due to the nature of the busted play, it ended up being almost like a counter.
Yeah.
Quarterback took it, and instead of handing off, he just went the way he originally took the snap. Well, if I'm KIPP, if I have any counter plays in my playbook, I'm looking to call those and see if I can catch the Shamrock defense over pursuing a little bit.
So Frazier will be back deep to return to the Jaguars. Carpenter set to kick off for the Rocks here. I was curious and wonder if we'd see the freshman Lowe, if he would do any kicking tonight, but we hadn't just yet.
Yeah, he's awfully impressive too, but Carpenter's just been booting the ball pretty well.
That'll be fielded around the 7-yard line as Frazier makes a nice cut. Makes him miss. Stiff arm. Knocked out of bounds. Pushed late. No call. Was close. So the Jaguars will take over at the 35-yard line after a really nice return by their quarterback there.
He's kind of been a do-it-all for them tonight so far. Cam Frazier, don't have any stats on him, but listed on our roster as a receiver, but he's been taking a majority of the snaps tonight. Just scored that last touchdown for KIPP, and just been pretty effective. Returning punts for him, returning kicks. I'm assuming he plays defense too. I think they'll have him listed as a starter at DB too. Just all over the place for him. A penalty call.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think there was a hold on KIPP there that moved him back a little bit. I just missed the flag throw.
I did too. I completely missed it. So it'll be 1st and 10 here from the 25 is where the Jaguars will set up shop as Frazier will take the snap, hand it off to Campbell. He's been electric tonight. He's going to try to get around the edge. Does! Makes a couple men miss. Finally brought down by Gavin Carpenter. A great job there by the Shamrocks defense. They continue to rally towards the football.
Well, Luke Detling had very good contain there, but what the sideline's telling him is when he comes to your side, then you got to attack him. He just kind of waited on him, and when he's standing flat-footed, it's easy enough to make a move on him, and he's able to get past him. So I think Barnesville's looking to still be disciplined, but attack the ball a little bit more.
Got a one-on-one matchup at the top of your screen. And Frazier will take a direct handoff, and it's going to be a quarterback ISO. Thought he had a little bit of room out on the edge, decided to stick his nose up inside. Picks up a powerful 6, though, and it's going to be enough for a first down Jaguars.
Yeah, just got in a pretty big pile with a couple of his big linemen, and it works out for him.
.410 and counting left to go here in the third quarter. Frazier will be in the gun alongside Campbell. Will take the snap, drops back, looks, throws. Waiting, rolls out to his right. Finally finds his man, complete. That was to number 1, I do believe.
And we got a late flag coming.
It was actually Draylon Manley, number 6, was the one who caught that. So the refs try to figure it out here.
So lineman went a little too far down the field there. I believe that's they give you a yard on pass plays that you can go forward.
You get anywhere from like a yard to 3, they say, and it gets really tricky when teams run RPOs. Yeah. We haven't really seen that yet this year. We've seen the Rocks run a couple, but like that's when it gets interesting because they never call it because it could be a run play. So an interesting one there. And
that one saves Barnesville from giving up another first down. It'll still be first down for KIPP, but backed up a little bit.
KIPP now at the 30-yard line as Frazier will take the snap. Plows ahead, picks up about 9. That'll bring up 2nd and 6 here as the Jaguars, before the holding penalty on the ensuing kick return, they now back to where they would have started. A lot of work just to get back there.
Yeah, like we said, athletic but not extremely sharp so far in this game.
Frazier will be in the gun alongside Campbell. Brown in the slot on the trips on the bottom of your screen. Bubble concept out here as Frazier will be a direct run. Wrapped up by Gavin Carpenter for a gain of nothing. That'll bring up 3rd and 6.
And for being Shamrocks, All-Ohio, and Gavin Carpenter haven't called out his name near as much as we normally do. I think the size of KIPP's line giving him a little bit of problems, and they're paying extra attention to him, but able to break through there and catch him from the backside and make a good play. But we got another KIPP player down.
Officials timeout due to the injured player, like you said, Brian. Looks to be one of their linemen down, grabbing his knee, and you never, ever want to see that with the lineman. So often, those big guys get rolled up on.
Yep. That's why you see most of them, once they hit college, they'll be wearing a brace to protect them from that. But
yeah, our guys, they have to wear them. So not, they get extras, and they don't practice.
And normally, like around here, you're not seeing very big lines. But like we said earlier, KIPP's line, just based on height and weight, rivals some colleges. And, I mean, yeah, when you get someone rolled up on you, that's a lot of weight falling on, a lot of pressure being put on that knee.
And I think their offensive lines actually played pretty well tonight.
Yeah, they've, in all the games we've done this year, we've seen Gavin Carpenter and most of the Shamrocks line kind of live in the backfield, and it's been tough to run on the Shamrocks and normally put a lot of pressure on the quarterback for the other team, but tonight been relatively quiet. I mean, that's partly due to KIPP's game plan to just kind of do design quarterback runs, but just not near as much penetration as they have been getting.
The man down was number 66, Jordan Hall, 6'7", 320, if you were wondering. False start here by the Jaguars.
That'll take it from about a 3rd and 5 back to a 3rd and 10. So, I mean, we're getting into the latter stages of this 3rd quarter, but this is a big play here.
Big play, 3rd and 10, ball in the 35. Frazier will be in the gun, drops back, looks. He's got a man in a hole, doesn't throw, but he's going to try to take a deep shot to Brown. Overthrow everybody, incomplete. I'm sorry, Ferguson.
Interesting here. What do you do if you're KIPP? I think you about have to punt this ball.
I think you got to punt too, but you sure don't want to.
I'm honestly surprised they took a deep shot there. I thought they were going to, if they would have picked up maybe 5 or so, I think they probably would have went for it here.
They actually had a snag route open at about 7 yards, and the ball never got thrown to them. There was 2 linebackers on both sides of him, but there was a window, and the receiver did a nice job settling down in the hole. And I just don't think Frazier saw him, because he would have had enough for at least 4th and 1, 4th and 2. If not, turned and run, picked up some yards.
I think Frazier was looking at the looking for the seam the entire time, and the Shamrocks had it pretty well covered.
And Carpenter's going to get back into the backfield, bring down the punter for a huge sack. Rocks will take over in the red zone.
That is a huge play. We just said that we hadn't called his name out, and he just might have made the play of the game there. Kind of a high snap. Like, it wasn't overly high. It was just kind of a lob snap. Like, it wasn't very hard back to the punter, and punter mishandled it a little bit, and by the time he got his handle and went to punt it, Carpenter was in his face and makes a good play on it and sets the Shamrocks up at the 20-yard line. Best field position of the game, and they've been pretty good whenever they pick it up in plus territory.
So we'll see how the Rocks respond here. It'll be 1st and 10. They'll stay in the gun. Trips to the top of your screen. A nub set with a tight end. They're going to run a little reverse back to Bliss. Going to make a nice cut. 1, 2. Finally brought down by the 3rd man, but not before he picks up 5 yards.
And if you're the Shamrocks, just keep doing what you're doing. You've been moving the ball pretty effectively in a variety of running plays. Haven't had to go to the air too much besides that strike to Connor, but that was set up by running and screen plays.
So it'll be 4th and 3 here to start the 4th quarter. As looks like Hannes is going to drop back, look to throw. They're going to throw it to Bliss. Touchdown, Shamrocks!
That is a great play design off that fake pitch series that they've been running. And this was just another wrinkle to it. They had Bliss. I think Bliss started off as the halfback. Fake pitch to him, and he just kept running full speed around the edge and open on the wheel route. A tough one to guard, especially if you're just looking for him to go for 3. So that's a big moment in this game.
Earlier I talked about that progression of plays they were using. They've been setting it up with the fake toss and running the quarterback sweep, as we've seen the Rocks do time and time again tonight. And then they start running the pitch off of it. And I told you there'd be a 3rd play in there, whether it was a screen or some kind of pass. And there was your 3rd play in the progression. And it warrants a touchdown for the Rocks as Carpenter's kick is up and good. And so the Rocks will be up 28-12.
With that one, so far every time we've seen Hannes roll out after the pitch or the fake pitch, either or, that time faked the pitch and stayed in the pocket. I still expect that there's another little play that they have there that involves him faking the pitch, rolling out, and someone coming across the field. We haven't seen it yet, but could be coming. But Shamrocks just gave themselves a little bit of breathing room.
Haven't seen them do any of that all year. So that was a new, probably a mini series that they put in this week, and you can't prepare for it. It's tough to defend.
And not looking ahead or anything, but Fort Fry's one of the best teams in the state, and that's who you're expecting to see next week for either team who wins this. So having as many things to keep Fort Fry guessing is going to do you good in the end.
Another thing Coach Huck will have to prepare for.
Yeah, give them as many things that Fort Fry hasn't seen. Make them guess, and that kick is
staying in bounds. Fielded around the 10.
I tell you
brought
what,
down.
a boot for that to stay in bounds the whole time, and he's still going with the pile, but Shamrocks unable to get him down. But man, that kick staying in bounds, that's huge for the Rocks. I thought it was going out of bounds, and that was going to set up KIPP with really good field position starting out.
I did too. Man, it's felt like that KIPP has been playing in their own territory all night. They haven't got onto the Shamrock side of the field very often, and I think that's a reason they've only scored 12 points. Because they've moved the ball fairly well, but their drives have been stalling out, whether it was due to a turnover on downs or an interception or penalties. And I think that's, thus far, the difference in this game is the inability to cross midfield if you're KIPP. So it'll be 1st and 10. Around the 17 as they'll take the handoff or the direct snap.
He's got blockers out the edge. Good tackle there by Bliss. I think the blockers just got too far in front of him.
Yeah. Nice open field tackle by Bliss. Flag thrown in early on the play.
Well, in the area of some kind of offensive holding, if I had to guess.
I thought I saw a holding, so we'll see if it's called.
And I don't know. It wasn't the holding call, but I don't know what.
I don't know. Did they signal it, Brian?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't see it.
Something on KIPP that'll back him up.
It was a something. So it'll be 1st and long here for the Jaguars. Play blown dead. As the fog settles in here on a cold, early November night here, Shamrock Stadium.
Side judge on KIPP's sideline having a conversation with their coaches, but I can't tell you what that one was either.
Maybe they wanted a description of the penalty as well. So it'll be 1st and forever here. Offsides jumps Quentin Lazier. KIPP able to use the hard count and get a free 5 back.
And if you're Barnesville right now, you want that clock rolling as much as possible. So anytime it gives KIPP yardage and it stops the clock, it's never a good thing right now.
Haven't had a chance to talk about much of the Rocks' offense and defensive lines tonight. As looks like Frazier's going to keep it. And he's got blocking around the edge. He's got one man to beat, and that's Bliss. Spins out of it, jukes another man out, stays up, and he's fighting for extra yards. Still up, finally brought down by Taysasar, but crosses midfield.
And the Rocks just having all kinds of trouble wrapping up and finishing a tackle. We saw that on the kickoff return. They picked up an extra 3 or 4 yards more than they should have. And there, he gets an extra about 7 or 8 off of when he should have been tackled.
And Frazier's the only underclassman in the starting lineup for them.
But he's been pretty impressive tonight running the ball.
So he'll take the snap, hand it off to Campbell, and he makes one cut, hits it powerfully, picks up 3 or 4. He does a really nice job for the Jaguars. When he hits the hole, he accelerates through it, and it's almost a guarantee to get 3 or 4 even if nothing's there.
He's one we haven't seen get the ball that much in the second half. That third quarter, he was held pretty quiet. I don't know if he got a single carry.
He was a game breaker for him early on.
He was running tough behind that line, and he was able to break a couple big ones for him.
It's tough to be married to the run game when you're down 28-12 in the 4th when the season's on the line, but it's what they're doing best.
Still plenty of time in this game.
KIPP has 2 timeouts. Remember, they had to take one early. Frazier will take the snap, fake, no one there. Tries to make a couple moves. I think he outdanced himself, and he falls down for nothing. It'll be 3rd and medium here.
Yeah, and I think there was a little bit of miscommunication there between him and the running back. He went to hand it off to 24, with Antonio Campbell, but Campbell was going out for kind of looked like a screen, but so no one there. He just had to improvise, and so far that's worked out pretty well for KIPP tonight. But that time the Rocks able to stay at home and make a play.
We've seen KIPP go to the huddle and then also go no huddle and just signal in play, so it's interesting to see them go back and forth.
Yeah, it keeps the Shamrocks guessing on how fast they're going to be going.
Frazier's going to look, throws. He's got his man hitch, and he's going to be short by about 2 yards. I think he just ran his route too short, Brian.
Yeah, well, and I think when he caught that, if he would have just went down or tried to just extend the ball towards the first down marker, I think he would have had it, but he danced around a little bit.
Lost a yard.
Yeah, lost a
Which
yard
is
from what
everything.
he would have had. Yeah, we're in 4th and 3 now, and instead of what either would have been a first down or a 4th and inches.
Yeah. So to be 4th and short here, Frazier will be in the gun. Trips to the bottom of your screen. One of them's a wing. False start here as the Shamrocks went to shift. The right tackle for KIPP jumped.
And that, I think that was a good use of shift there. 4th down. That's a wrinkle we haven't seen from the Shamrock front tonight, but all of them.
Something they did all year, though.
Yeah, just haven't done tonight that I've seen at least.
That's the stuff, you know, depending on the type of film a team gets, you may see the pre-snap stuff, you may not. You know, we've got film in the past from teams, and they don't include anything. Usually the film will start right when the quarterback has the ball in his hands. So you don't see any of the pre-snap stuff. And some teams, well, you want to gouge your eyes out because you watch everyone eat popcorn in the stands for about 20 seconds before they snap it. So interesting to know what the film looks like.
Double move there. He's got him.
Got it. Touchdown, Jaguars. Pitch and catch from Frazier to Ferguson. Ran a little post route. Burnt Wise and say hello. We got a ball game.
Matt, you cannot let that happen if you're the Shamrocks. You need a safety in the middle of the field, or I don't think Wise knew he was on an island one-on-one on his own. I think he was planning on having safety help over the top, and there's just no one there, and a perfectly thrown ball. That's the second perfectly thrown ball we've seen from him tonight.
So they'll go for 2 here. So they're going to spring out to the right side like they did earlier. I think he's just going to run it and get into the end zone. 2-point conversion. Good, Jaguars. And you got a one-score game here, folks, at Shamrock Stadium with 8:40 left to go in the 4th quarter. Barnesville 28, KIPP 20.
And remember, last time KIPP kicked, it was pretty close to being a successful onside kick, so that's got to be in the Shamrocks' minds here. But
yeah, that's one of those things you're telling all those young guys up on the front line. You don't move until the ball's over your head.
And yeah, man, what a play from KIPP on 4th down. They had it 4th and short and get the penalty called on him, moves them back, and Barnesville just caught completely off guard by the post there. KIPP's ran it a couple times.
Interesting to see, like you said, if KIPP wants to come out with the onside, try to get a quick one back. Like we said, 8:40 left to go in the 4th quarter. Rocks up 8. KIPP's 2-point conversion earlier called no good due to a penalty. Could be a 6-point game right now. Also had a punt return called back due to a block in the back.
We could easily be setting at a tie ball game here.
We could very easily be saying Jaguars are up 2 scores right now.
Shamrock's extremely fortunate to be up 8 and in a position to try to put away this game, but going to have to recover this kick wherever it goes to.
Looks like the Rocks are doing some alignment based off of where KIPP has placed the ball. It's more on the right hash here, be the left hash if you're looking at it from the Rocks point of view. They've got more, they got Detling and Costello over there with Bliss, deep back to receive as the kick is off. Nice kick there by Torrey. Bliss is going to muff it. Fields around the 15, dances around, going to get brought down at the 18. Nothing doing there.
That's the first time Bliss has had a chance to make a running start at a catch, and he just completely whiffed on it.
Unbelievable there.
And that's the type of play that'll kill you. That goes from what you would have had at minimum 30, 35 at yard line, and now you're sitting at your own 20.
Telling you, the mistakes will come up and catch you and bite you in the butt.
Mistakes on both teams. Neither team playing particularly sharp or perfect. I mean, I think Barnesville's playing better than they did last week, and KIPP's played a pretty solid game, but still some things that need to be cleaned up that can cost you a game.
Rocks will be in a 2x2 set, and they'll fake the jet to Bliss, and he got nice blocking there by the Rocks. Hannes is going to plow forward. pick up about 6 or 7 there. It kind of looks like the Rocks offensive line just kind of like, once Hannes got by, and they just kind of quit, and like Hannes was still churning. Kind of disappointing there.
I mean, when you're going up against a D-line that big,
Sure,
I mean, it gets easy to stop on your blocks and everything, but Hannes fighting for everything he can get there. And I think if he would have got blocks for a couple more seconds, he could have pulled that into a first down.
It'll be second short here, as they're going to throw a bubble out to Bliss. Nice block there by Detling. Actually runs through Detling, and it's going to end up being a loss of about 2. I thought Detling was in the position to make the block, and the kid just ran through him.
Well, he was in position, and Bliss caught it and didn't do anything immediately. So, I mean, I think Bliss had a seam to the outside that he could have gotten to, but he just tried to break it inside, and he went into the block. I mean, I think Detling wasn't looking to get a push there. I think he was just looking to be a body to get in the defender's way so Bliss could break it to the outside.
So the Rocks will put Bliss in motion again. They're going to call a false start.
And the pressure's starting to get to the Shamrocks. They are starting to fold a little bit. This is about as bad of an offensive possession as I've seen them run. This is ugly.
And they've been putting Bliss a lot in motion here. And it's just unfortunate when one of your best players makes a couple mistakes back-to-back like that. I don't necessarily know that the block was all Detling's fault. Like you said, he just kind of stood there. And when you get into a crucial time like this, some people don't understand. You've got to be able to rely on your best players. And they got to be able to make plays. That's going to make or break your season. So Rock set up a screen to Wise here. Makes a nice cut. But he's going to get brought down after he gains about maybe 1 or 2.
And a 3 and out for the Rocks, and that's exactly what KIPP ordered for the Jaguars. And Jaguars are going to get the ball back. 1 possession game with plenty of time.
Disappointing to see if you're a Shamrocks fan. You had a couple opportunities right there to, get a first down, take a ton of climb off the clock, and now 6:40 and counting, down to actually 6:22. And
even with Bliss's leg, you're looking at KIPP getting the ball at their own 40 at worst. And they're dangerous returning the ball, too. So.
Yes. So Bliss's punt is off, and it's short and high. And it's going to go out of bounds at about the 44. Favorable spot, I do believe. And so that's where KIPP will take over in Shamrock territory. 6:04 left to go. Playoff football, Brian. 1-score game. KIPP's got the ball. Rocks up 8.
And, I mean, these last 10 minutes have been rough for you if you're a Shamrock fan. You went from being up 2 scores and the Shamrocks having the ball, looking to put away this game, to giving the ball back to KIPP. KIPP with a quick score and getting a quick defensive stop, having the ball down 8.
So it'll be interesting to see how the Rocks defense is able to stand here. I assume we're going to get a steady dose of Frazier and Campbell here. Got to be aware you can't let anybody behind your head, as Wise is out in the island all by himself with the number 5 Xavier Ferguson and Bernie Murley.
You got to watch.
And it looks like they're going to look to him. Throws, and it's sacked! Big play there by the Rocks D-line. Finally making a play tonight.
Well, as much as the Rocks D-line did good there, I want to call that a coverage sack almost, because he had 2 receivers down the seam, but this time the Rocks had 2 corners and a safety there to help, so nothing open for him, and he never really looked to run until it was too late.
He wanted to throw it, man, and he just couldn't, and Rocks were all over it. Great job there. They'll bring up 2nd and 13 here as they're going to turn around and hand off to Campbell. Makes 1 cut, 2, 3. Gets a block, makes a man miss, 4 up around the right side. Finally brought down by Bliss right at the first down marker. It'll be interesting to see if he got it.
And he's quick and shifty, and the Rocks just have not been able to get a hand on him. And even more than that, they're letting this KIPP crowd, who decent for the travel that they had to do, but this KIPP crowd's starting to get into this game a lot more.
Interesting dynamic. KIPP is a program where you got to get on the wait list, I do believe, to get into the school. So it's not like it's a community. It's a community of people, everyone here to support their kids, which is really awesome. But, it's not like a village like Barnesville. As Campbell takes the handoff, plows forward for 2 or 3. But, their fans and their parents have really come out and supported nice. I'm impressed.
And yeah, last week the intensity was just not there in the crowd. Cole Grove did not bring a very big crowd, and Shamrocks crowd, for a variety of reasons, just was a little thinner than normal. So it's good to see a little bit more of a playoff atmosphere here tonight. But right now the Shamrocks in need of a play to get their side of the crowd back into this. Pretty quiet on our side over here right now.
So it'll be 2nd and 7. That's one thing that really messes with an offense is noise. Rachel take the snap, drops back, get Carpenter right in his face, throws up a ball, jump ball caught! Catch made by number 16, and that is Tomorian Tanner, a freshman. A wonderful play by the freshman there.
That was over
jump
Wise
ball.
again. Wise just wasn't able to jump with him.
What a wonderful play by the Jaguar receiver there.
Carpenter got creamed the quarterback there. And good throw, making composure.
Bobbled
We got
snap.
the ball.
They fumbled the snap. Rocks say they got it, waiting for the official marker. Carpenter comes right out of pile. Rocks got it. Rocks got the ball on the 1-yard line.
Man, after that huge play from KIPP to get the ball knocking on the doorstep, and now Barnesville comes away. I didn't see the play, but did he just never have control of the snap?
I think they're going to turn around and hand it off to Campbell, or it might have been some kind of, quarterback sneak. They've been in the pistol all game, and they go to under center, and the center and quarterback exchange bites them in the butt. They fumble it. They hadn't did it all night really, and they turn over the ball on the 1-yard line, down 8 with 3:47 left to go.
Game of momentum, and it looked like KIPP was about to take it all. And just a huge play, touchback too. So the Shamrocks not even in their own end zone. I thought they might have recovered it at about the 1.
So it would have been a touchback there on the fumble, as they'll turn around and hand it off to Owen Wise. He's going to break through. What a hole there provided by the offensive line. And it's going to be enough for a first down. The clock's going to start rolling in favor of the Shamrocks, right down to the nitty-gritty here.
And I know we got an exciting game, but while we're waiting on this play to come, I did get word that Fort Fry won their game 36-6. So Fort Fry will see the winner of this game next week at a neutral site.
In a neutral site?
Yeah.
Okay. So
unless it's Marietta, which is about 10 minutes for them. And
well, I wouldn't have to drive very far then.
You wouldn't, but Barnesville faithful would have to go a little bit further than the Fort Fry
come
fans.
Play on the gray turf. It'll be okay. Neat stadium. So it'll be 1st and 10 here. As it looks like they got a hard count. Hannes will turn around, hand it off to Wise, plows forward, gets down, picks up about 4 or 5. Shamrock faithful going ballistic here, under the 3-minute mark. 2nd down here.
And looking for Barnesville to use the entire play clock here. If they get one more first down, you're going to see KIPP start to use their 2 timeouts remaining here. And that goes back to earlier when KIPP had to use their timeout. They weren't happy about having to use it, and moments like these that show why.
You want to keep all 3 in your pocket so you can stop them on 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down, get the punt on the 4th down. But now they're going to have to really watch how they manage this clock here.
Got to do some work here. Barnesville in a heavy set again.
This will turn around and hand off to Wise. Boy, Hannes is being very careful with that handoff back to Wise. I haven't really seen him do it like that.
That's just really slow developing. I mean, Barnesville not hiding what they're doing here, but
doing what they exactly should be doing.
KIPP might have just used their 2nd time out there, which I don't hate.
Yeah, that's a good. It's a good point because there's no 2-minute warning or anything. So basically, they pushed all their marbles into the center of the table here and said we're going to use it on 2nd down, and then KIPP's thinking if we stop them here on 3rd down, you use it again, and it comes down to 4th down, and they're going to have to make a decision whether they want to punt it back to you with would be just under 2 minutes left. So a really interesting time. This is kind of make or break for KIPP's season here, and also Barnesville's.
Yeah,
first down probably wins it.
I mean, I don't see Barnesville going to the air, but I could see a wrinkle trying to get it out on the edges a little bit. They're running with the heavy set straight up the gut. I mean, it worked on initially, but that down, just nothing going, and it's tough to go big on big against a team that's this much bigger than you.
Well, you wonder if they get back to that progression where they fake the toss and they get back to a quarterback sweep. That's something that's worked really well for them.
I think it'd be a shame to not see, as good as that play's been for him tonight, I think it'd be a shame to not see that play run in this situation, either on this down or the next.
The thing with that play is it's such a conservative play. We're not going to see it due to the set they're in. They're in a heavy eye. They're going to motion Connor.
They're heavy, but that's Connor, not a extra lineman.
They're going to run that. Oh, they are going to run that little play out of this set. Hannes is going to be stopped short. It'll be 4th and 1. Oh, boy, Brian. Now, they got to punt it. I mean, there's too much time on the clock.
You can't give KIPP the ball. You can't take the risk of giving KIPP the ball in your territory again. You got extremely lucky last possession on the fumble on the goal line. You can't count on that happening again. So I think you got to angle this ball to go out of bounds, but you have to punt here.
All right, Coach, here's why you make the big money. You're always tempted. You're 2 yards away from sealing this game, Brian. Or do you punt it back to the dangerous athletes of KIPP and to let them go down and have a chance to tie you and potentially send it into overtime?
I think game and score come into play here, because if we're talking a 1-point game, I think there's a better chance you go for it here. But when you're up 8, you know that they're going to have to drive the field with no timeouts. They got to score the touchdown, and they got to get the 2-point conversion just to tie.
But that might be more of a reason why you do go for it, because, hey, you don't just have to beat us once, you got to beat us twice.
And I don't see Hannes there, so
it looks like they're going to punt.
And I think this is the right call here. I mean, it's a hero call.
Whoa. This is a big one. Snap is good.
KIPP didn't have a returner back.
No one has any idea where the ball is, but it's a beautiful punt. It's going to roll down to about the 15, 14-yard line. The KIPP returner kind of faked it, and I think he was just, hoping that it would be a bad punt.
He was up at the line of scrimmage, and then I think he thought they were going for it too.
Yeah,
and then
he just kind of faked it,
and he was kind of jogging back, and I think Coach Allens, both of them on the sideline, were telling him to hurry up and kick it because they didn't have anyone deep, and that's a huge mental mistake from KIPP. I mean, they've been killing them on the return game all night, and to not even send someone back.
That's very interesting, Brian.
I don't know what the strategy was there. I mean, I think they
probably thought we were going to go for it and just didn't realize it.
They had to have thought that, because, I mean, to not even set up a return, I mean, now they got to go about, where are they at?
Or they got to go 85
yards to extend their season. 85 yards just to tie with no timeouts, under 2 minutes left.
1:57. Frazier will be in the gun, drops back, and he's going to run it, and he's going to get to the outside. He's got blockers. He's going to run out of bounds, picks up about 7 or 8, and it looked like it could have been a lot more.
And Barnesville just kind of content to play contained there. No one was really rushing him. He was getting near to the sideline. They're afraid if they tried to make a play on him that he could juke him out and pick up a few more yards. But right now, that 7-yarder, getting out of bounds hurts a little bit, but I think you're content for right now to give up that.
It'll be 2nd and 4 here, 1:49 left to go. Frazier's going to drop back, looking for Ferguson. Rolls out to his right, looks, throw, fires, incomplete into the stands. Going to bring up 3rd down. So now you've got 2 plays to pick up 4 yards, but you also got the clock ticking in the back of your mind. 1:41 left to go if you're KIPP. So hard to win a playoff game. So hard.
Shamrocks employing that 3-man front, only 2 linebackers in.
They've
got
got
double safety look.
They're Frazier on drop back, looks, throws, and picked off! Payson Starr!
Ball's right to him.
And that'll do it here, folks.
That should do it. I mean, still got to dot your I's, cross your T's, but that is a huge play there. from the sophomore, threw it right to him, and he just made a play on the ball.
What a season #1 Tayson Starr has had. And you know, that's the thing when you get to the playoffs. We said it all night. You got to rely on your big dogs. You got to rely on your best players. But there's always going to be one unlikely suspect that's going to have to come up and make it or break it for you. And it looks like it's Tayson Starr tonight.
And I think another reason, going back to that decision to punt, you made KIPP do something that they hadn't done all game and they weren't comfortable with doing. They went to the air, or they tried to go to the air 3 separate times there, and Shamrocks just able to come up with a big play there. And this snap will take place with about like 52 seconds left.
1:15 and counting. No timeouts for KIPP. All the Rocks have to do is make sure the quarterback center exchange is good. Take a knee, sit on it, and they'll get out of Shamrock Stadium with another playoff victory.
This one's a cherished one. This one did not come easy at all.
55 seconds. 4, 3. Hannes will take the knee. Clock will continue to run.
They'll need one more snap here, and that should do it.
Barring nothing crazy happens.
Which we've seen our fair share of crazy this game, but and that will do it. We will not need another snap there.
So as the clock winds down, you come back and you think about the mistakes and all the miscues that led this game. The Rocks got lucky with a couple, and a couple came back to prove costly for KIPP. But boy, I don't want to take any away from the KIPP Jaguars. They came out and played a phenomenal game. They gave us everything we wanted and then some, really. And had a couple opportunities. They could have been leading this game right now.
That's a nightmare as a 12 seed. I mean, there's a reason they're playing in the second round, and I'm glad that they got in the playoffs in this extended format. I mean, that's an athletic team, and it'll do the Rocks good to have played this game. But a tough one. Now we can start looking ahead, but tough one. Kind of Barnesville's Achilles heel in sports for the most part. I mean, Fort Fry's a tough team to beat in anything, and I mean, we did just beat them in baseball when it mattered in the tournament. So in all sports, we do have a streak going against them, but football-wise, just they've had our number for a couple years. Coach Huck does great things there. They've boosted their schedule. I know they played some really good powerhouse schools, and they've finished the regular season 9-1. Yeah.
You know, I've been following Fort Fry this year, having been down in Marietta, and they are as disciplined as a team as you'll find. They've continued to schedule larger opponents, and at times throughout the season, it's taken a toll on them, and they lost one game this season. It ended their senior class. I believe they had not lost a regular season game in their careers, and they finally lost one to, it's slipping me, I want to say Toledo Catholic Central, or someone from out in Western Ohio came to Fort Fry on a Saturday and beat them. And boy, I'll tell you, Fort Fry's in a couple of close matches this year with bigger teams. They're battle tested, they're disciplined, they're going to run their system, and you've got to be able to go in there and play mistake-free football and put the pressure on the cadets, because I'm telling you, this one means a lot to the community and this program.
Yeah, then the Rocks going to have to play extremely disciplined. I know Fort Fry does all kinds of misdirections, and they get you over-pursuing, and Barnesville just going to have to play their most disciplined game of the year. They had a little bit of margin for error these first 2 weeks. That goes out the window next week. No, absolutely no margin for error.
You muff a punt, it costs you a game right now. And that's how it's going to be, but that's the beauty of the playoffs. You want to continue to get better and play better competition, and it's what you want, it's what you ask for. It's all about proving who's the best. And it'll be interesting to see. The Rocks are going to have to heal up this week, get back to the game plan, and get some maybe another progression or series or two in there, and throw another wrench at Fort Fry, and we'll see where that neutral site is. Potentially a couple spots could be Marietta, Meadowbrook, John Glenn, or Dover. A couple I thought of.
Only one I would add there is Zanesville could be a possibility.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Looking forward to it. Unfortunately, this ends the Strauss Films season of bringing you Barnesville football. We encourage you all to travel wherever this neutral site is decided. travel. I know the Barnesville faithful always does, but really show out. They can use all the help they could get. It's going to be a big game next Saturday at a site to be determined.
And I know you'll be there, and I will be as well. And it's important to get out there and show out like Shamrock faithful always has and always will.
If it's any incentive, you can come sit by me and Brady next week, and we'll commentate the game for you live right next to you. But
I guess we could do that. But as the Rocks sing the alma mater, just a quick thank to our sponsors once again for a wonderful year. Hissom Service Center, Two Cuz Woodworks, Mountain Air Heating and Air Conditioning, Root Design Company, Samantha Welch, Swally Trucking, Vision One Flooring. We want to thank you, our sponsors, for supporting us throughout this year. Also want to thank and congratulate Strauss Films for the wonderful work they did for us this year, Brian.
And want to give a shout out to my parents, my dad, Breezy Hill Farms LLC, for feeding the press box tonight, and my mom for preparing that food. If you all need a caterer, Donna Clark Catering, it's the real deal.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
food was awesome.
And again, shout out to Strauss Films for allowing us to come up here. It's been a fun year. Hopefully we get to do this next year, but for now, hopefully the Shamrocks keep living to play another week.
All you got to do is find a way. Next week will be just as fun as this week, hopefully. So, if you got anything else, Brian?
Yeah, that's all I had.
Well, signing off here at Shamrock Stadium for the final time this season. Rocks 28, KIPP 20, and we're signing off here. Good night, everybody.